Hey YouTube, this is React City. I'm Jacob.
I'm Rose.
I'm Nikki.
And this is... Oh yeah.
To Your Eternity, episode 4. We're at 4 now.
Yes.
So last time, March didn't get eaten.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And our friend Fu-chan turned into wolf and Num Num beer.
The bear is very much
dead.
His nose is dead.
His nose.
Specifically his nose. And we also have what's her name? I forgot her name already.
I don't know. Sissy.
Armored girl, a terrible armored girl.
Mm-hmm.
Sissy.
No,
that's what she calls her.
The armored girl.
What armored girl?
The
that
chick.
one. Oh, I don't know her name.
Exactly. We have her being like, let's run away together. Come on, guys.
It's your only way to live.
Yeah,
So say
people.
yes.
So I guess that's where we're going this episode?
Yeah.
Question mark?
I guess so.
Yeah. I just want to learn more about the world and see how this functions, and if this is going to be a continuous story where we follow these people for the rest of this thing, or if he's just going to detach at some point now that they're safe.
Remember to subscribe and also hit the description button to see our Patreon in the description and to see these episodes a whole week early, as well as the uncut version of these episodes. We'll get right into it.
Listen.
Discussion!
Alright, plot.
Yeah!
Plot 2.
So, we start off, what was her name? Parona.
Parona.
So Sissy is Parona.
Yeah.
Parona flashback to her sister saving her from selection.
Yeah.
But her sister got selected, it seemed, or not, because she was dead in the bushes.
I'm wondering if, since she helped her sister escape selection,
they punished her.
Killed her. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, her sister didn't have the marks on her face that denoted her as a child. But it's also, if it was the selection, which I don't think it is, but if it was a selection, it's possible that Onegasama just left the body out there. Because he doesn't stay up in the mountain. Because he just goes wherever he wants.
Just
really.
kind of lumbers around.
But, yeah, I mean...
But we also... The whole flashback about you're not a part of this village anymore, was that to Parona?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to have been.
Okay.
Because then we see her running away, but then we see later, I mean, she's got a sister. So maybe she just went to another village and that's not her biological sister?
I think so, because remember the way
they said Ninan, so I'm wondering if...
Yeah,
remember they showed the whole map, and she was like, what is that? She was surprised, because she's never seen a map of Ninan. So she could have been from another village away, some part away, because they don't seem to like talk to each other.
Yeah.
They don't even know the other areas exist. At least she's older and she doesn't know.
It's probably a situation where there's way more of them than there are of the Yanome people.
And the Yanome people don't want them to know that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously it's not quite as extreme as slavery, but it just reminds me of like the Romans used to have this thing where they're like, there's so many slaves around nowadays that we should really just have a way to mark them, because you walk up to somebody and you don't know if you should have to show respect or not. And so like, let's mark them with a sash, and then they quickly backtrack and realize, oh my gosh, like 2/3 of the people around here are slaves. We cannot have them all knowing that we're the minority.
Yeah. That's funny.
But yeah, so this sacrifice thing, it's a way of influencing and controlling the populace.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Hunger
the
Games.
The old lady said it best. They tell them, oh, you're gonna help us by giving us a sacrifice, and then they control them with psychological manipulation.
Yeah.
And control their lands.
It's working.
Yeah, they don't know how to read or write. They can't improve themselves. They can't learn better.
Yeah, and you won't miss what you don't know is not there.
Exactly.
Indeed. And then we apparently his full name, what's his
Fushi-chan.
Fushi.
So she, in her naming thing, she was like, this is your name, but then what am I going to call you?
Yeah.
That's what was going
nickname
on.
is
Yeah.
Fu.
Yeah, Fu-chan. But she's Fushi. He's Fushi.
Fushi.
And Fushi is learning speech slowly.
But only when eating.
Yes. Well, no, in the beginning it was only eating. And then he got hurt and the guy was like, "Ita!" And then he was, new words. And then he also reacted like when he heard him. And it's like he didn't like that. Either he didn't like that or he felt...
I think
when he stabbed him back, like he felt his pain or something.
Yeah, I think he was feeling the other guy's pain.
And then he was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. And then he kept he kept feeling other people's pain. I think he was feeling Onikumasama's pain.
Yeah, that's why he dug into the room maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not. He's dead, but not dead.
I think he was just incapacitated.
Yeah, it's almost like almost comatose, but really just he's that hurt. They're just waiting.
He's just bleeding out.
Which explains the whole. We were like, how is he dead from just
the nose? He was just bleeding out,
just super injured.
Yeah.
Side of it. Yeah, and it makes sense because he's a mirror. He is built for stimulation, so he only associates the words with things that affect him, like to stimulate him. So he's not learning language per se, as he's learning the labels of these things that he's seeing or feeling. Very reactive.
Yeah. And we also had that scene where the clothes were peeling off of him was like. Did you see?
Oh yeah, I know. Like, I barely caught it. I didn't get to see it
because technically it's like it's a part of him.
Yeah,
and take it off and it's just
like a band-aid. He's like peeling back with it.
It's gross.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad it can change. I thought for a second like it would just insta grow back or just
I thought so too.
But it did. And then we see the what's her name, the armored chick, blue girl, being way too nice. She drugged him.
Yeah.
With food. Don't mess with my food.
Yeah. I wanted to give her a shot.
Yeah, she seemed so nice. She was letting
smiling.
them write letters. She's talking to her. You know, your people don't know how to read or write, my dear.
I don't think I didn't feel like it was being nice.
Really?
Yeah, just because
it did feel a little bit.
She was like,
they'll never
throw away your hopes and dreams, child.
I don't know.
Understand.
I didn't really get it like that, but I understood your interpretation that way. When she took the map away and was like, "You guys want to eat some food?" That's when I was like,
Yeah. She's
real sus now. Yeah.
It colored her previous actions as patronizing.
Yeah.
I almost thought if it would have been, she would have been. You could have said maybe she was nice if she had at least a bit of wistfulness about her responses. But when they were drugged, she was just like smiling there as they passed out because she knew they were going to jail forever.
Yeah, so now I'm thinking that she's just a true believer in this grand plan, and that's why she doesn't have to wear the weird mask. So the Yanome people, I'm just trying to now thinking, what is it that they want? Aside from the lush lands, obviously, that's free labor. But they briefly mentioned, free real estate, they briefly mentioned something, and then we captured it in reference to Oniguma-sama. So I was just so fixated on the captured part because I thought he was dead that whole time that I didn't catch the rest of it. So I'm wondering, does he play a part in something else? Because remember, the guards themselves were like, this thing's real. So now we have an explanation for why that is. But I'm wondering if they had, like in the back of their mind, wanted to capture it all this time, maybe train it or something like that.
I wonder if they wanted to capture it now because they were like, look, we can actually parade around their god and like control them more.
Yeah,
maybe
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then they said,
be like, yo, we need 2 sacrifices now. We saw him in the woods.
To a week.
A week.
But then we also saw they were saying that Fu-chan is super important. They need to prioritize him for the future of the Yanome people. So I'm wondering, like, what is the other plan?
Yeah.
Because I feel like they have everything they need to capitalize on controlling the Nina people. So why do they need an immortal? You know?
Yeah. I didn't figure out why. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand what they were saying entirely from the beginning of the conversation. So I was like, why though? Instrumental why? I don't know.
You know what it could be? It could be that maybe things aren't as stable as it appears, and that's why they needed to capture Oniguma-sama to, like we were saying, parade around. But now if they also have an immortal, like anybody who says that this isn't real, chop, he comes back.
Yeah.
They can figure out the whole origin myth around that guy.
Yeah.
They don't need anything else.
And I think controlling... It's funny that they don't try to appease... What's her name? The one that he listens to. March. Because she's the only one that he obeys. Like, they have a rope around his neck, and he's like, no, I'm going in the water. Because he knows, like, you can strangle him to death and he'll just come back alive, you know? He'll just dig out, he'll break his bones, he doesn't care. But he cares about March. And I just find it strange that if they want to use him, that they haven't, like, looked that far ahead of like how are you going to control him, or maybe they have their plans of trying to control him.
Well, that might be. Well, I was gonna say that might be why they kept March, but then again, they were like, you know what? Let's just shove her in a room with the dangerous monster. It's fine.
Yeah.
They also said to her, it doesn't matter if she dies. She's just a little girl.
Right.
But I think it might play into the pride and short-sightedness of the people, because we also saw when they were eating at that table, she wasn't being like just, hey, there's a proper way to eat this. She was talking about them like almost she was being patronizing again. We're talking about how, oh, I'm sorry, I guess your ways haven't been properly conveyed to us. You can eat how you want. The way she was saying it was almost like, you guys are barbarians, is the vibe I was getting.
Yeah.
So she could even be looking at March as, this whole relationship between you two is cute and all, but we don't need you. We are Yanome. We're the superior people. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So that's where I think that's where they are not putting two and two together, of how easy it would be. It'd be so easy to manipulate March.
So easy. She's very young.
An actual child.
Yeah. The only thing that they would have to manipulate her and separate her from Parona, because Parona can see through them. Because even when she was talking to her, she was like looking at her at the food when they were having food. She was just staring at her with evil eyes. Parona will see through them, and Parona will talk to March, and March will listen to Parona more than she'll listen to them.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of manipulating they'd have to do.
They're just not willing to try.
They're not even thinking about it. They're just like, no, we can do what we want.
Because even Parona, like, give her what she wants. Like, no more sacrifices. Use the immortal to do whatever it is you're trying to do. Just phrase it correctly.
Yeah.
It might work out.
Even that that plan of hers was going to be put on hold as long as March was okay here in Yaname. She was gonna just make sure they're settled, and you could have like made a bunch of promises to her that you didn't have to keep them. But just make a bunch of promises, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. What do you mean about the vessel
opened? I have that. Yes.
I don't know what that means.
It happened when he looked dead at the.
Looked at the dead.
The dead Oniguma. And said arigato, and he was smiling. So the vessel opened. Is it Fushi-chan's vessel that has opened to receive the emotions of others, which we see later when the girl falls? That. Well, yeah, but it wasn't like this. He's almost like receiving messages and sending them out. And like he switched his, instead of before he was like itai constantly, it hurts.
I think that was from Oniguma.
No. That was from when he was getting stabbed, when they were trying to kill him.
Well, that was after he stabbed the other guy, and he was like itai. He started copying that, and then he dragged him away. And then Fushi suddenly decided, yo, we're gonna go. I think he was running to Oniguma-sama, and he kept saying, it hurts.
Perhaps, but I was just saying that maybe he's learning to channel the messages more, I don't know, nuanced, like, because like the girl falls and he's like itai again, just randomly out of nowhere, and he says arigato just once, you know. It's not just continuously just repeating and chanting. That's all I'm saying.
Like, it could be that, but I was just stuck on the title episode's A Larger Vessel. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a transference between him and the bear of some kind, like either him into the bear to make it a larger vessel, or the bear's spirit and ability or stimulation that allows him to transform into the bear itself. Like one direction or the other, I'm not sure, but I think the vessel opened is him now able to connect with the bear in a new way.
Him changing into the bear is gonna be like a game changer.
Yeah.
You know, he can like wreck that castle.
Yeah.
And it would still solve the issue. Like, Oniguma-sama bear can one die.
I'm surprised at how fast you said that.
I was too. I took a little start. But I'm thinking like either the bear dies just for poetic tragedy, or the bear goes back to somewhere else, because it's eating people. It's eating people. That's not good. So if the story decides that no, for a good ending, it needs to pass away happy or something, that can happen. But also if the kid is the bear, Parona can spin this story to be like the bear no longer wants sacrifices, and now he just wants to live with people, and you treat him well. And suddenly now they're all royalty.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that's where it's going to go.
That would be great, but then the show would be over.
Well, he can eventually leave or something.
I mean, he's immortal.
It could move on. He could move on from these people. Solve that problem and leave.
Yeah, I'm going to go out and explore the world.
Yeah.
Or time skip 3,000 years later. All right, time for something else.
Suddenly we're in the industrial era.
Daft Punk.
Daft Punk. Yeah. All I have, nope, I don't have anything else other than they're escaping.
Yeah, the only other thing I have is I'm just the way they introduced Parona,
like
Corona. They introduced Parona so bad. Terrible shot of arrows, right? But then she's so good at everything else.
I'm still not over that first impression. I'm just like, she's entirely incompetent.
I know.
Has been shown to be a master of everything else. But I'm just like, she's so incompetent.
I know.
What's going on?
I have that contradiction in my head, and it's really annoying because I'm like, look at her scale
like,
the wall. I'm like,
it's like she made rope out of dog fur, like that long
hard.
of a rope.
that's a long time.
Whilst also on cleaning duty in a dungeon.
Yes.
That's some tough work.
Yes, she also sharpened the actual mop into a spear. Like, how did she hide it under that?
Mid-fall, caught herself, threw herself to the side to land on the awning.
Yes, and did not break.
Mm-hmm.
And also took out one of the guards, who's a trained guard with spear.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's amazing, but she's totally incompetent.
Oh my gosh.
That's so mean. Why did they do that? First impression.
I think maybe the arrow scene was to imply that she tries hard and stuff because everyone there knew that she's been working on this.
Yeah.
So maybe even though she's a bad shot, it's to show that no, she is someone who really plies herself at these things.
Yeah, because that was also I wondered about that. Like, why is it just the guys are in love with her or something? But that never that never kind of panned out, and they didn't even look like that. They weren't like pawning.
It seemed like they were trying to help.
They were just helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, you'll get it. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry.
You know what also fueled the she's incompetent thing is when she tried to save March she did it so terribly.
Yeah.
You don't stick around after you push the people out of the way. You see March run, you run too.
Yes. Basically.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
Anyways.
Maybe we'll figure out if she's less inept in the next episode. Guys, remember to hit the like button. Remember to hit the subscribe button. Also, check out our Patreon in the description down below, where you can see the uncut version of these episodes, as well as these episodes a whole week early. We will see you guys in the city.
Goodbye.
Bye. Oh, bye.
Special thanks to our patrons, Fushi, Raul Ignacio, Jabal Wilson, and Tyrone.